Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited. In today's video we're going to be tier ranking all the books I read in 2025. Yes, if we go straight into the Goodreads reviews, because I'm going to start talking, and once I start talking I'm not going to be able to stop, because when it comes to me and talking about books, I can't shut up about them. And I have lots of thoughts and opinions, and I've been wanting to share these thoughts and opinions on all of these books that I read since I read them all. My Goodreads goal for last year, my goal for reading in general last year, I started off the year and I said I wanted to read 50 books. The year before that I read 69. So I was like, okay, I didn't read quite 70 and I don't want to force myself to get to 70. I feel like 70 is kind of a large goal, especially if you're like me and you're working full time. I'm like, 70 is kind of a lot. I went into last year thinking 50 would be good. Then I hit the biggest book slump of my life in 2025. I did not read for 3 months. During the depths of that slump, I was like, I want to change it to 35. Like, let's just make it 35 and see. So like halfway through the year, I changed my goal to 35 books. Ended up reading 48 books. So I'm just gonna say my goal was 50. That was the original goal that I set out. I read 48 books and my original goal was 50, and I read 20 of those books in the last 2 months of the year. I was on a time crunch. I was gonna try to make it to 50, and then I was like, we have like a week and a half left of the year. Let me just enjoy the holidays and not force myself to read 2 more books to make it to 50. I'm at 48. That's good enough. It's not like it's a contest of who can read the most books in a year. It's just for myself. Setting a goal is fun for me. I enjoy setting the goal and I love reading, so that's the reason why I do it. But let's get into the Goodreads stats. Go on Goodreads and see my year in books. So I read 48 books in total and I read 19,669 pages. My shortest book that I read was And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. That was 97 pages long. And the longest book I read was Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh, and that was 761 pages long. My average book length in 2025 was 409 pages. My most shelved book was The Hunger Games. 13 million people have shelved this book. That's crazy. There's people who don't even use Goodreads, but on Goodreads alone, 13 million people have shelved The Hunger Games. My least shelved book was Thirst Trap by Grain O'Hare. 33,000 people shelved it. My average rating for 2025 was a 3.6. In 2024, my average rating was like 3.2. So I went up a little bit higher. I do think I found some good reads this year, but I do feel like a lot of the books I read were average at the same time. I really want to find quality books in 2026. That's my goal. I feel like a lot of people are saying that, quality over quantity. I've been hearing that a lot in people's videos, but I feel like it's genuine. One of the reasons why I had such a long book slump is because I got slumped out of romance, and that was the main genre that I read all the way up until like the end of last year. Like, that was my main genre, and you'll see that in my tier ranking. But last year I feel like I just got slumped out of it. I feel like all the books feel the same, but I'm not going to get into too much detail on that. That's a video. That's a topic for another video. My highest rated on Goodreads was Releasing 10. My first review of the year was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And then I think my last review of the year was Heart for Christmas by Sophie Jomain. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, that's all my Goodreads stats. Now we're gonna get into the meat of this video, which is me tier ranking all the books I read in 2025. Also, I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Reading is subjective. I hate to put this out there, but I feel like people do need to hear it before I go into this. Everyone's opinions on books are subjective. I might like a book that you hate. You might love a book that I don't like. And so I do want to preface this video by saying, like, it's my opinion. It's how I feel about a story. And I don't want to anger anybody or make anyone upset because we don't agree. I don't want any beef between us. I want us to be like this. I don't want no beef. No beef, okay? I want you guys to enjoy my video, and we can agree to disagree. If you guys want to talk more in depth in the comments about any of these books, we definitely can do that. I love talking about books. Like I said, it's my favorite thing. So I'm always down, but at the end of the day, we're friends. We're besties. We're gonna be besties. Let's get into this video and let's talk about the 48 books I read in 2025. So I have my tiers. Let's get into my tiers. The bottom tier is This Is Rage Bait, and this is a book that I read and I felt like the author wrote it to make me feel rage. Next one is Not Memorable. So this is a book that I read and I just genuinely don't remember anything about it. The next one is You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. This tier is a book that I read and I thought it was good, but I had higher expectations going into the book. It had the potential to be great, but there was something that was missing. The next one is My Good Sis. My Good Sis, that means we're like this. That means we're good. We're good friends. Like, I like you. You like me. We're cool. Like the You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great and Up are books that I would recommend. The next one is I Will Always Love You. I will rant and rave about you. The only thing is I just didn't have that 5-star feeling when I read it. And maybe if I were to reread it down the road, it could be a 5-star. The last tier, which is my favorite tier, is I Would Sell My Soul to Read for the First Time. So this is a book that I read and I'm like, how do I go back to that moment and read it again for the first time? This is a book that, like, if someone was like, hey, they gave me 2 options, Millionaire or read this book for the first time, I'm gonna pick Millionaire, I'm not gonna lie. But it doesn't matter. I can't think of an analogy. If read this book for the first time, it's going to win most scenarios. These are not in order of when I read them. They are somewhat a little bit close to the time frame. I don't know, we'll get into it. The first book that I'm seeing on here is A Heart for Christmas. This was an advent calendar book. And I was like, that sounds so fun. Then I read it. I want to put this book in rage bait. I'm gonna put it in not memorable. The reason why I'm putting it there is because the experience of reading the book was fun. Opening the chapters and, like, it does put you in a Christmas mood and I enjoyed that part. The part I did not like was the writing and the plot. And I will give this book a little bit of grace. I found out while on Goodreads is that the book is translated. So it was originally in French and it got translated to English. So maybe that might be the disconnect in the writing style. I don't know, but I didn't like it. You want to do a seasonal read, just pick one that's not an advent one. The next one is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I'm gonna put this book in My Good Sis. I really liked it. I thought the plot twist was good. It was a little bit predictable though, I will say. I listened to this on audiobook. I listened and read it, like I did both, but when I listened to this, I would get a little freaked out. So I will say the audiobook is a little bit on the scarier side. The next one is And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I'm just gonna put this in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. It wasn't long enough to fully connect to the characters in the story, but it's Frederick Bachman, so he's great at writing. He's still able to tug on your heartstrings no matter what. The next one is Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. I think I would sell my soul to read for the first time. This book was an unexpected 5-star banger. I heard people talking about it and I was like, I kind of want to read it just to see. I start reading it and I'm so intrigued. I'm obsessed with the storyline. It's such a good story and I have another book by this author on my TBR and I cannot wait to get to it. I'm obsessed with this book. Anyway, the next book is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. In this book, I'm just gonna put in not memorable as well. Like, I don't really remember anything about this book. Honestly, me talking about The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year and putting it in not memorable makes me want to put A Heart for Christmas in rage bait because I like this one more than that one and I just don't feel like they should be on the same level. Now we have Fake Skating by Lynn Painter. It was her new release last year and I'm gonna put this book in, I want to put it in My Good Sis. I did really enjoy this book. I think I gave it 4 stars. I just really enjoy her YA romance. It's the perfect mix of like angst and fun and nostalgia and I just really enjoy it. It's still fun in the moment. Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. Honestly, this was also an unexpected banger. I'm gonna put this in My Good Sis. This series is not complete, but I did really enjoy this book a lot. I really enjoy Julie Soto's writing. It just feels like the tension is literally lifting off the screen. Then we have Thirst Trap. I'm gonna put this book in rage bait. The reason why is not even the book's fault, it's my fault. It was the way I went into this book thinking it was going to like really dive deep on like female friendships and like I thought it was gonna be something that would leave me feeling like I love having my girlfriends, but that's not how the story is. I wasn't feeling it at all. And we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is an I Will Always Love You. I love this book a lot and I had a great experience reading it. It's a love story as in our main character point of view on life and the way she sees things is so unlike any character that I've read and I just really enjoyed it. It felt like a coming of age novel for someone who is already an adult and I loved that. The next one is We Used to Live Here. I really like this book and I'm gonna put this book in My Good Sis. It's a horror book and I think it's the perfect amount of creepy. It's unsettling as well. The next one is As Good as Dead. I'm gonna put this in I Will Always Love You. This series as a whole, I think I will always love this series. I'm happy I finally finished it. It took me a long time to get through for no reason because I have nothing but good things to say about it. Next one we have is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Don't kill me. Let me explain, because I feel like if I don't explain this, people are gonna hate me. The book is so super well loved. I get it. The thing for me in this book particularly, it was another one of those things where I think it was my fault. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna find some type of, like, my brain kept going to Interstellar, this message, and they deal with space. I'm like, well, maybe it was just a sci-fi book. Sci-fi might not be a genre for me. I really enjoyed our characters. I didn't really care about the plot. That was kind of where the disconnect was. Like, I think this is a good story and I would recommend it. It isn't at the caliber for me that people set it up to be. The next one is Mate. I had a great experience reading Mate, and I really loved it. Like, I did. She's my good sis. The next one is Alchemy of Secrets, and honestly, I'm putting this in not memorable. I was super excited for Stephanie Garber's like venture into adult fantasy. I was so excited for Alchemy of Secrets, and then I read it. It wasn't anything wrong with the book. It's just not memorable to me, but I did enjoy it. The next one is The Midnight Library. This is also going in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. The reason why is just literally because I couldn't really connect to the story that well. I've heard so many good things about this book, so I went into it with high expectations, and it's super popular. So The Favorites by Lane Fargo is also in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. I feel like I had high expectations for this one as well that it did not meet. That's kind of the problem with hype. Sometimes you go into a book high expectation, when before booktube and before book talk, you would pick up a book, you didn't really have any preconceived notions on the book. Like, you would just pick it up. Anyway, with The Favorites, I did enjoy it, and I can understand why people do love it. Enchantra is another one. I think I'm gonna put in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. I really liked Phantasma. But then we have Passion Project. This one is another one that I would say is You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. What happened is that there was another book that came out earlier in 2025 that I read that has a similar plot to this, and I just preferred that one better. Then we have Say You'll Remember Me. This is another one that's going into You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. Abby Jimenez has delivered for me multiple times in a row, and so I was super excited for Say You'll Remember Me, and then I just could not deal with her FMC. She had a lot going on, and I'm fully understanding of that. She didn't put any effort in their relationship. I feel like the guy did all of that. I just felt like he was going in debt for this girl, and there was no return. Not saying she has to go in debt. And also it was super insta-lovey. It was like insta-lovey, and then the FMC and her lack of reciprocation. Those two things made the book a miss for me. Problematic summer romance. But I'm gonna put this book in my good sis. Like, it was good. I liked it a lot, and I like all of Allie Hazelwood's books for the most part, so I'm not surprised. Beg, Borrow, and Steal. This book was really good to me, and as a fellow teacher, I love reading about teachers. I just find it fun, and I love Sarah Adams. Then we have Summer in the City. I'm putting it here because I do remember something specifically from this book. I hate to say it once again. Our FMC, she kind of like freaks out on our guy for something that he did. That's his love language. It just wasn't my vibe. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one, One Golden Summer. Yes, I would sell my soul to read for the first time again. I loved this book so much. It was another unexpected 5-star banger. Up all night. Couldn't put it down. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. I'm gonna put this book in I Will Always Love You because I really love this book. Because of Promise Me Sunshine, I read this book, really loved it, and then went into Passion Project, and it has the same plot, but I just like Promise Me Sunshine better. Then we have First Time Caller. I'm gonna put it in not memorable. I do want to read the new book that's coming out, but I don't really remember much about the story. I do remember enjoying it, but I don't remember much about it. Then we have Sunrise on the Reaping, and this is gonna go in I Will Always Love. I'm gonna always love Haymitch. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This book is also going to go in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. I had high expectations, kind of. I do think there's a purpose for the madness of the story. Like, I do think that our author wrote this book in a specific way because of the character that we're following. However, it was really boring to me. Like, I just didn't really enjoy it. With Ballad, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the story. But it was just a little too slow paced and a little mundane for me, and I don't know if that was done purposely or not. The next one is The Hunger Games. I read all 3 books this year, and honestly, I think I'm gonna put these in I Would Sell My Soul to read for the first time again. Hold such a special place in my heart, and rereading them again in 2025 for the first time since I think I was in middle school felt so nostalgic. I can actually show you guys. I'm looking at my copies of the book, and like, this is my OG copy of Mockingjay, and if you open it up, see my middle school handwriting in this. Like, It's just a whole bunch of quotes that I loved from the books. I can never rate these books anything below a 5. They feel like my childhood, so I just love reading them, and I love that I have my OG copies. I then read Glow of the Ever Flame. This is the second book in the Kindred Curse saga. I only read the first 2 books. I haven't read the 3rd book yet. I love this book a lot. I'm gonna put this in I Will Always Love You. I gave this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, but I will not be ranking it or talking about it in depth because I just don't want to. The next one is Spark of the Ever Flame, which is the first book in the Kindred Curse saga, and I really like this one too. I put this one on my good sit. Like I said, I want to continue the series. Then we have Releasing 10. You guys already know where this is headed. It's going right to I Would Sell My Soul Right Now. First time. I feel like if you make it this far into the Boys of Tommen series, then people know that you're obsessed with it, and I made it to book 6 and gave book 6 5 stars. It hit the spot for me. My favorite book boyfriend from this series has always been Johnny, but Hugh, I'm obsessed with him. So the next one is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I want everyone to hold my hand. I'm actually gonna get closer to the camera. Hold my hand. I gave this book a 4.5. I don't remember anything about it. Because of that, I want to put this book in not memorable. I don't remember anything about it to keep it at a 4.5. I'm gonna put this book in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great, which I kind of feel like knocks the rating down a little bit because I feel like a 4.5 is really high for me not to like think about it or talk about it. Great Big Beautiful Life, You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. The next one we have is God of Malice. I'm putting this one in not memorable because I unfortunately do remember everything about this book. The romance in this story, I just could not buy. I think I'm done with dark romance. Like every time I read it, I kind of just feel like, what the F? I do think this series might be a good series to read. You need a book to get out of a slump because they are fast paced and they're honestly so crazy that it does get you like turning. The next one is The Risk, which is also dark romance. It's a part of the Mind F series. Yeah, I just am not also interested in continuing this. This is not memorable as well. The next book is King of Envy. I genuinely looked at my Goodreads. It said I read this book in 2025 and I was like, what? I read this book? I don't remember reading it. I don't even know what it was about. But I hadn't read any of the others. The only other book I read by this author was Twisted. I read the first Twisted book and I didn't like it. Okay, the next book we have is Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is another author I do not believe that I will be continuing to read anymore. And if I had to put this book anywhere, I would just put it in not memorable. Like, I just don't. I'm not going to really dive deeply on my thoughts on that one. And the next book we have is Summer Fridays. This book honestly was a surprise for me. I had heard one person talk about it. I found it at the bookstore and started reading it and really liked it. I will say this book, it has a trope that people do not like, and I understand why people don't like it. I guess I'm included in the people who do not enjoy this trope. However, I do think that it doesn't feel as bad as Summer Fridays. Like, I really enjoyed the story a lot. And it takes place in New York. I love New York. We have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I'll put that in my good sis. I really enjoyed it. Well, actually, let's put this in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. The reason why it's going down, I did enjoy the story, but there is this thing that is very annoying that continuously gets talked about throughout the whole story, and it is annoying. It is very annoying. You're kind of like reading it like, girl, if you don't just be quiet. But like the story itself is good and I did enjoy it. The next book, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. This is another one that I'm going to put in You Were Good, I Wish You Were Great. And the reason why I'm putting it there is because I read another book by this author, really enjoyed it. And then I read this one and it just didn't hit like that one. And talking about Tia Williams, I have 7 Days in June right here. And this one is my good sis because I really liked 7 Days in June. I thought this book was so good and I had only heard like mid reviews on it. And then I read it and I'm like, the angst in this book, the tension is like literally, it's palpable. I feel like I could touch it and it was great. And it's Second Chance. I would reread that book. Then we have Play Along. Play Along is definitely going to my good sis. I think Isaiah Rhodes is the book boyfriend that people put him out to be. Like, he's really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I couldn't fully connect to the story that well. Honestly, I'm kind of hit or miss with the series. Like, I like enjoy the books in the series, but I don't love them like everyone else. Then we have My Friends, which is so crazy because it's all the way down here, but it was the last book that I read in last year. And I'm gonna put this book in I Will Always Love You because I really enjoyed the story a lot. I think Frederick Bachman has just such a way with words. Like, I'm reading the book and I'm feeling all these emotions and my heart feels heavy and then my heart feels happy and like I feel like he has mastered his craft. He is a master of his craft. Like, he is able to write and make you feel, and I feel like his books are for all ages. Anybody could read them, and I don't know, like I just really liked it. And it's definitely definitely an I Will Always Love You. And the last book on this list, which is the first book I read, I think, in 2025, and that's Beartown by Frederick Bachman. And I'm gonna put this book in I Will Always Love You as, no, actually I'm gonna put this book in I Would Sell My Soul to Read for the first time. I gave Beartown a 5-star when reading it, and you would think like, oh, you love the first book so much, I would read the second one. I haven't got there yet, but I'm planning on it. I do plan on getting there. I just haven't got there yet. I can't wait to read more and find out more, like just read more about these characters and their lives. Frederick Bachman is able to create a story that just, it's like heartwarming but hard-hitting, and you will leave his books feeling like you have an understanding of life and of different point of views that you didn't have. You'll read his book and you'll get a point of view of a mother, then you get a point of view of that mother's kid, and then you'll get a point of view of a son, and then you'll get a point of view of a grandparent, or a random point of view of someone who's working at the grocery store that you just see in, like, you get all these different point of views and they just make sense, and you get these point of views and it just makes the story. And I don't even know if any of that makes sense, but I do know that I love Frederick Bachman and I am passionate about the books that I read by him. But that is all the books that I read in 2025. Now that that's over, now that we've tier ranked and I've talked your face off, I think it's time for me to stop holding you guys hostage and end this video. I feel like I've talked for hours at this point. I don't think it's been hours, but it has been a while. But I would just want to thank you guys for clicking on this video, giving me a chance, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the first video of 2026, but also the first video on this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.